Hi everybody, it's Janét Kniss. Welcome back to Lectin-Free Solutions. Today I'm going to share my favorite lectin-free tortilla recipe with you. My family makes this about once a month, and we make enough at one time to share with the whole family. And today's the day. Anyway, this recipe was graciously shared by Daniella Hunter, who owns Santa Foods and a wellness center down in Tulum, Mexico. And they make these tortillas as part of their restaurant fare. They make them in little street taco size, and they really are good. I have proportions here to make. This will make us, depending upon how large we make them, around 30 to 40 tortillas. So they freeze beautifully. I like to make them in a larger batch, so that it's a once a month or once in every month and a half proposition, and then we're done. So let's get going. Like I said, I've got, or I'm not sure if I did tell you, I've got coconut flour, I have tapioca flour, I have xanthan gum, and I have salt. So those are the 4 ingredients I have in the bowl. They're all weighed out, and now I'm going to mix them together. This is a funny little recipe because there's a precise measurement for all of the dry ingredients, but not for the wet. So the wet, of course, is water, and it's just like if you've ever made any type of homemade tortilla, it's really the same story. There isn't an exact measurement for the water. So what we start doing is pouring the water in a little bit at a time. I've got 8 cups for this particular measure. And then what I'm going to start doing is just working that water in with my hands. It takes a little bit to get to the right texture. And what you want is to have all of the flour incorporated, of course. But what you'll do is get it to a consistency where you can easily roll it into a ball. Now we're not anywhere near, I've used about a third of the water. This may not even be enough, but we'll see. So I'll pour a little bit more in. You want to do a little bit at a time. It works the dough much better that way. You'll build muscles making these, that's for sure. And once you get to the point where it's not working, you're not making it any better dough, then it's time for more water. We used to go to a restaurant where the ladies would sit and make these tortillas along with the dough. And it amazed me the strength that they had, because they'd be making the dough, letting it rest, and then they'd be rolling out the tortillas or pressing the tortillas and cooking them. And they would do that all night long. It's really quite impressive. Okay, we're getting there now. If you look at this, you can see it's starting to stick together, but we still have quite a bit of dry material at the bottom. So it's time for a little more water. You don't want to get them too wet, so that's the importance of going slow. And as you can see, we've probably used about a half. I think we've used almost 4 cups. I'll give you the proportions for this at the end, and you don't have to make this in this large batch. You can easily cut this in a quarter, and you'll yield around 10, somewhere between 10 and 12 tortillas, depending upon how large you make them. What I do after I have this dough all together, now it's time for 2 hands. It's coming together, and now it needs to be kneaded some. I probably should have put a towel underneath my bowl so it's not so slippery. But that's hindsight for you. Yes, this isn't going to take any more water. Let's going to be just the right amount. So, looks like I used it looks like 3.5 cups for this amount. But sometimes I think a lot of it has to do with, well, two things. One with your coconut flour and the other with the weather. So you just never know. You still want to take your time to knead it all together really well. Daniella Hunter used to demo this online at one of her restaurants, but that has all been taken down now. I feel very fortunate that I connected with her when I did, and I got this recipe because it's always good. We've never had a fail with it, and everyone loves it. Okay, so now we've got a nice consistency for our dough. Now what we do is cover it up, and we're going to let it rest for a full 10 minutes. Then we'll come back and we'll weigh the individual balls out so that we can run them through the tortilla press. Okay. Hi everybody, we're back. Our dough is all nice and rested. I started rolling out some 40-gram balls. This is going to make us a medium-sized tortilla. If you want the little tiny street tacos, you could use somewhere between 20 and 25 grams. If you want the bigger tortillas, you can use up to about 65 grams. My tortilla press is a 10-inch, so I can make the bigger ones, but I usually don't because I like to keep our carbs down, and one of these tortillas is extremely filling, so you really don't need much more than that. The other thing I like about these tortillas is they fry really nicely. So you can really do a lot of different things with them. All right, so these are all the balls that I've rolled out so far out of the dough are all 40 grams, and I'm going to take one over to the press it, and show you how that works out. So let me grab one and off we go. Oh, all right, we're ready to press out this first tortilla. As I mentioned, it's 40 grams, so it's going to be a medium-sized tortilla. And I use a 10-inch press, which will make tiny ones, medium-sized ones, or large ones. You just have to decide. I have a grill pan here in front of me that's nice and hot. And I'm just going to release this. Come on. There we go, right onto the frying pan, and we'll just warm that through. They don't need to be cooked all the way through because you'll cook them again before you use them. There we go, just a little bit of color, and then we'll flip it and put them onto the cooling rack. And then we'll start off with a production line. And so that's as simple as it is. And we'll go ahead and go through all of that. And when we finish, we'll show you what we end up with and how nice and flexible they are. Here we are again. We had to take a little break in the filming. The word got out that I made tortillas, so we had some takers. This is all I have left out of a batch of 38, but you can see how nice and flexible they are. That's why they wanted them. They're pretty tasty. Anyway, the directions for how to make them and the yields will all be in the recipe link for the video, and I really hope you'll give these a try. I want to thank again Daniella Hunter from Sanará, who filmed this I don't know how long ago, I think at least 2 years ago. It's no longer available, but it's a really delicious recipe, and they are just so great to store. And it's my favorite one. I hope you'll like it and give it a try. Thanks for coming by again. Please like and subscribe so I can keep making these for you. We're having a lot of fun getting started again. As you know, it's been a little bit since we've put any videos together, and we're ready to do it. So thanks for coming by.